namaste and welcome everyone. You're watching the evening show at 6 here at Himalaya Television. म सदिक्षा श्रेष्ठ र हरेक मंगलबार चाहिँ आज पनि तपाईको television set अगाडि आइसकेकी छु with your favorite show, and I have a very lovely, beautiful, talented guest with me tonight. She is a model and a choreographer. We have seen her on Asia's Next Top Model in 2012. She was also the Kingfisher's Calendar Girl in 2014. So no prizes for guessing. Let's welcome Miss Aastha Pokharel. Aastha, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sadiksha.
It's so good having you here.
It's really nice being here. And a little funny as well. Like,
we've known each other for quite some time, right? But never sat down like this. Like we sat down like over drinks or in a restaurant, over
but not
food,
in front of cameras.
Not in front of camera when thousands of people are watching us like this. Okay. But thank you so much, first of all, for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I think today a lot of viewers who would want to, who definitely take you up as a role model and want to pursue modeling, or definitely I think would be very, very interested in watching. So तपाईलाई पनि modeling मा interest छ, तपाईले पनि model बन्छु, international, national भनेर सोच्नु भएको छ भने आजको show चाहिँ नछुटाउनु होला. And if you know somebody, your friend or your cousin who wants to pursue this path of career, then definitely give them a call and ask them to watch the evening show today, because we have Aastha Pokharel. So Aastha, how is life at the moment? What are you busy with? के गरिराख्नु भएको छ?
Currently, I'm based in Kathmandu. I've moved back here, and I'm exploring different projects, like other than modeling, choreography and about photography, direction.
Okay.
And I did events as well. So anything that has a creative side, that's what I'm exploring right now.
How was your experience of being based in Mumbai?
Yeah, it was good. It was something I'd wanted to do for a few years, but I'd never really took that step. I don't know why. In 2014, I finally did.
Yes.
And it was really good. Besides professionally, modeling the आफ्नो ठाउँमा छ त्यो बाहेक मलाई अब घरबाट निस्केर हुन्छ नि एक्लै बस्न थियो and all that experience. So it was very
सोचेको जस्तो हुँदो रहेछ, because I can relate to what you're saying. You know, when I was also studying in Bangkok, you have that freedom of you know, not worrying about your parents waiting for you all night. ढोका खोल्दिनु पर्छ यस्तो भन्ने टेन्सनहरु हुँदैन. So I can relate. But so जस्तो सोच्नु भएको थियो, did it turn out to be like that, or did you miss a home cooked meal at the end of the day? How was it?
It was good for the first few months. And that freedom, whatever. Even though like I would not go out every night or even every weekend. But just knowing that I could if I wanted to. Your freedom chahiye थियो, and I think that's what I did. That's why I went there in the first place. But obviously, like living alone and trying to make it in such a competitive and big market was a challenging experience, but it was very rewarding, I think, and I'm glad I did it.
So when you did decide to, let's say, move or to be based in Mumbai, you know, when you told your parents, how did they react? How did your sister take it? Your mother? कसरी लिनु भयो?
Yeah, my sister was, I think, they all supported me. Yes. Yeah, I think nobody really objected or anything. My mom was obviously, being a mom, she was a bit worried that she tells me I'm very lazy, I don't eat on time, they sub like mommy problems, which is true. I'm quite like, I struggle to take care of myself there. Everybody in my life was quite supportive of that.
So was there anybody who like, तिमी त survive गर्नै सक्दैन होला यसरी, how will you be able to do this भन्ने मान्छेहरु पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि, or they're like, no, she'll be able to do it, they had that faith in you?
No, I don't really know what anyone thought. I think, yeah, I just decided one day, and I don't have so many. Like, I just needed to tell my parents and a few people close to me, and they were fine with it, so I left.
And when you, so how was the first modeling experience like when you were there in Mumbai? Because before you were, you went to, changed your base to Mumbai, you already had that experience. So you know, how was it working wise? Work ethics, similarities, differences?
Yeah. Similarities, like obviously you're doing the same thing. Basically, you're modeling, you're putting on clothes, and like you're doing photo shoots and all that. It's the process is the same, but it's obviously very different when it comes to professionalism, and the overall scale, I think. Like, it was still not, say, it was not a world fashion capital like that, but still for someone like me to completely, you know, move from Kathmandu to Bombay and just work with all these people who are like really creative, who you've have followed their work for a long time, and to finally get to work with them and all that, it was exciting, and it was very creatively, it was fulfilling.
I wanted to ask you, do you also feel like, because kati times when we look at certain photographs and creative photographs, we'd be like, wow, kasari ayo your concept, kasto ramro expression dieko model le bhanne jasto गर्ने times. So do you think it's also who you work with that brings out the best in you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's teamwork, and it takes a really good team to create really good results. So everybody has to know exactly what they're doing. They have to vibe well together. And I think that's how you get good photographs or good results in anything else. Yeah.
So you already said, you know, it was a different experience altogether, doing projects in Kathmandu and doing projects in Mumbai, Banera. But if being honestly, what would you suggest, let's say, the Nepali fashion industry or this particular sector, that, you know, things that we can learn and things that we can improve on, do better, and things we should just completely stop doing?
First of all, like, you're doing something, you're already here, so might as well give your best on it. Because I know a lot of people who just there, like, they're not completely there. And so maybe also it's also you're not getting paid enough or something.
So wholeheartedly
and it's just I feel like people need to take it more seriously, and this is a field that you can't just be motivated by money. You have to be passionate about it. And so if you have that passion in you, I think, and if you're a creative person who wants to explore, and you know, you will definitely do better when you do that. So just wherever you are, whatever you're doing, give your 100% and be professional and respect other people on set. I think those things.
So we're in conversation with Miss Aastha Pokharel. She's a model, a choreographer. She was also Kingfisher Calendar Girl for the year 2014, and she was a part of Asia's Next Top Model in 2012. So like Aastha just said, if you know anybody who's really passionate about this field, who wants to really be a model and make her mark or his mark in this field, then definitely ask them, or stay tuned, because we'll be talking about more on her modeling career and you know, so much more, but we'll do that after the break. So you break सकाएपछि अवश्य पनि फेरि फिर्ता आउनु होला हाम्रो शोमा, हामीलाई जोइन गर्नु होला. Till then, don't switch the channel and keep watching Himalaya Television. Welcome back after that short commercial break. You're watching the evening show at 6. म सदिक्षा श्रेष्ठ र म आज कुराकानी गर्दै छु मेरो guest Aastha Pokharel सँग. So Aastha, you know, you talked about how one should really be passionate more than anything, passionately drive गरेको हुनुपर्छ त्यो मान्छेलाई to be in this field more than money or anything else. When you started out in 2011, how did you start your career in this field?
Well, it was almost by fluke. Like, I wouldn't say I was passionate then, but it was. I just finished my nursing school, and so I was quite passive and shy. So I think my mom pushed me, like, just to get me to open up more. And she was the one who suggested, and I started doing little shows, and I actually discovered that this is what I wanted to do, and not nursing or not anything else. So that happened, and obviously Tubelama, like, that was what, 8 years ago.
Yeah, almost.
So obviously now it's a lot better.
Right.
But Tubelama have done all kinds of shows and photo shoots and whatnot, which is like, some of them are obviously embarrassing, but like, I was just happy to be able to do it.
Exactly. All of that experience is what counts, what matters. I know. Do you remember your first major fashion show that you walked on, and you know that you think left a mark in the industry?
Okay. First. maybe it was Nepal Fashion Week in Nepal, yeah.
But how did you feel like walking fashion shows? For example, मेरो बारेमा कुरा गर्नु पर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I'm always very scared sort of to walk, because I know the moment you step on that ramp, it's like everybody's judging you, from the strand of your hair to the toe, to your toe, what you're wearing, how you're wearing it, the makeup, everything. And I've always been the kind to like not really care and just, okay, I'm there, showstopper, whatever it is, we've got and then just back. But models have to do so many sequences one after the other. They have to remember so much choreography wise, you know, and then always have maybe the straight face sometimes, look fierce and all of that. You know, how do models do it, or how did you do it?
How did I? The thing is, I really like detaching myself from a situation and just observing, like regular day up, and that's what I do. I just keep quiet and watch people. So it was almost like that on the runway. Like, people can see you, obviously, lights, cameras, makeup and hair and everything. But for me, I'm a character. I'm not myself. Like, it's different for you guys when you go up on stage and as Miss Nepals, as personalities. So, but as a model, it was very different for me. Also, like, when you step on the runway, it's bright lights and you don't really see anybody. So
that's true. That helps a lot.
That helps. And I just, I don't know, suddenly, because real life, I'm still quite reserved, I would say. But I became really confident. It was really easy to be confident in that platform.
Right.
So I started really enjoying that.
And do you think a model should really have different moods sort of for different designers when they walk? Because I'm sure when you're wearing a lehenga, it should be a different look than when you're wearing a contemporary dress, or, you know, something that's very modern.
Yes, definitely. That's where that's like your input as a model, you know, otherwise a mannequin could do your job. Right. So I think and that's the fun part of the job as well, that you get to work with all these creative people and you get to give your creative input as well, like to a certain extent. So yeah, that's, I think, I would say that's where modeling requires talent.
So another big highlight, I'm sure, for your life must also have been, you know, being in the top 5 of Asia's Next Top Model first cycle. How did you get into that? I sort of know half story of this, like Shakil ko alikati involvement and all of that. So can you tell our viewers, how did you get into that?
So yeah, I was just modeling, doing this and that in Kathmandu. And then Shakil was, Shakil Kaur is a makeup artist, is a good friend of mine and yours as well. So I think he was the one who suggested, like, why don't you apply online? And I just, like, yeah, why not? It was happening for the first time, like, in Asia-wide.
Yeah, right.
And so I just applied. I went through this and that. Kiki katiora application process too, and my friends helped me. So I was really enjoying that process as well. So.
And how did you react when you were accepted? And
I was quite excited because I was 20 or 21. I know, and I'd never traveled outside Nepal. Right. And more than anything, I was not even thinking about what was waiting for me there. I was not ready for the, you know, emotional roller coaster. I was there for a naive girl then. But I was just excited to travel and to
just enjoy the journey.
Meet all these interesting people from everywhere. So that was what I was thinking then.
So it is sort of like a reality show also. It is a reality
very
show.
Very much.
So how was the experience? Like, first day of shooting, you know, so many cameras, I'm sure. Yeah. How was the experience overall?
Okay, so it was really dramatic. I was still very raw. And the first thing they did was somebody received me at the airport, and some people from the production. They were the first people I met. And they took away my passport, wallet, and my phone. So, and then I was taken to a hotel. Like,
so you didn't have your phone and everything throughout?
No.
Really? Okay, this I don't
know. And they make you sign like this thick
contracts,
NDAs,
non-disclosure agreements.
So I signed anything, like, fine, I'm here for a good time and whatever I have to do, because I'm sure I was in good hands. They were like Fox Productions. It was airing Star World, so I didn't like I just knew I was in a safe place. I was in Singapore, so I was not really worried about my safety or anything. So I let them have their way, and I was just there to have a good time. And Then after a first few days, it's because they hadn't started the production yet, everybody was yet to arrive and they had to sort out a few things. So all I was doing was spending time alone in my hotel room, and they preferred us to, I signed an NDA, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be talking about this, but it was like 10 years ago, whatever. And we were not, like there were other contestants in the same hotel, but we were encouraged not to talk to each other yet, because you're supposed to like dun-dun-dun on the first episode and see who doesn't like who'd like. So
you're not supposed to mingle around.
Yeah,
and
you know. So I was just
the cameras weren't rolling then. That's why.
No, you just ate and you got a little orientation type, and I just stayed in the hotel by myself like for 4 or 5 days. And slowly I started getting nervous.
Yes. It slowly started settling in, maybe.
Yeah,
and then
I'm actually.
But you know,
doing something really new to me,
the tasks, all that we see, and it's so interesting for us also. And then Satchikepani, when we see all those tasks being done by all the contestants, participants, it's amazing how one does so well. And you know, kuni bela hamile pani as viewers, we're always betting also ni, let's say ramro garnu hunna hola, maybe she is the kind of girl who will excel banera. So how was the experience of all those sometimes very weird, sometimes very dangerous, you know, over the top photo shoots?
The photo shoots were really extra. Like some of them are really, they're still very fashion and actual fashion photo shoots, but some other, obviously you have to understand it's for TV. So it has to be dramatic, it has to be like, at least has to look dangerous. Of course your real life is not in danger there, but it's still, they want
for
to
the TV and for the viewers,
for the viewers, and also they want to see how you would handle a situation, like how
maintain your calm and composure and all of that.
How do you maintain your composure? So this way in our life,
and I think one of the big scene or big moment was also you cutting your hair, right? Or they had cut your
really big deal then.
They had cut your hair really short. But we'll talk about that after the break. So Tapailapani, if you remember, if you'd followed Aastha's journey during that time, I think I also went like, oh my God, we'll talk about how she felt, but we'll do that after the break, so don't go anywhere. Grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee if you've just joined us here at the evening show at 6 on Himalaya Television. Don't go anywhere and be right back after this break. Welcome back after that short commercial break. You're watching the evening show at 6. I'm Sadiksha Shester. I'm also as a guest, Miss Aastha Pokharel. So Aastha, right before the break, we really ended in a very dramatic note, like what happened to that haircut? Did you know beforehand, right when the cameras were rolling, and this is it?
Yeah, obviously it was right when the cameras were rolling because they want to get your reaction. And I thought, like, I want to stand up and walk out right now, but I'm not in Kathmandu. You know, just I thought it was so unnecessary and all that. Like, you know, you're really attached to your hair. For some reason.
Exactly. I agree, because I think as females, what happens is we'd always be like, but at the same point you cut, like even if it's like an inch, you just be like, oh my God, this is so different, this is so short, why is it that way? Yes, we are dramatic like that. But you know, you did pull off the look so well, and even after that, I think you know, your photographs or Rupani were so nice. But how did you really, like you said, you felt that it was sort of unnecessary also, but I'm sure the people who wanted you to have that sort of look, that sort of haircut, instead had already like a certain perception in their mind, is so banera. But after the whole episode, after it happened, after you had to do tasks after that, this is like, okay, they did really know what they were talking about. No, I still loved my hair and I miss it, banera.
Since it was a TV show, they shot every day, so they worked on my hair, crimping and everything. So I didn't like it. But I got used to it, like you get used to everything else. It was not a big deal later.
Do you think about cutting your hair, Aile? That short?
Not that short, definitely not.
So that was a one-time experience only?
Also, one-time experience.
And after, I think that big, so top 5 ma parir, I definitely have to credit you, I think, because इतनी धेरै interest पनि generate भयो Nepali viewersहरुमा पनि. I'm sure we already did watch reality shows or Next Top Model पनि हेरिरहेको हुन्थ्यो, but for us to see a Nepali face there and do so well, you know, after you came back, receiving what kind of messages did you receive? कस्तो खालको feedback पाउनु भयो तपाईको performance बारे चाहिँ?
Yeah, actually it did not air in Nepal. I tried to see if I could have it aired somewhere. YouTube मा मात्रै थियो, and actually मैले पनि राम्रोसँग हेरेको थिएन, अहिले पनि हेरेको छैन हुन्छ नि, but still I was quite overwhelmed and encouraged by the response. Like I would get all these messages on Instagram, or people would recognize me, and that was all very new for me. And sometimes it may have made me feel uncomfortable, but still it was quite encouraging for someone who was just starting out. Yeah.
And after that, you also the Kingfisher Calendar Girl in 2014, I know. So that is also another, I think that's one of the most glamorous calendars that has been branded as the most glamorous calendar
in India.
Yeah, you being a part of that, how was like when you got the phone call, for example, त्यति बेलादेखि like the shooting दिएको बेलासम्म, how were the emotions like?
So also I was quite new to Bombay in 2014. I didn't really think I wanted to do another reality TV, because actually in real fashion world they don't really value someone like they don't really think that's real modeling,
right?
You know, but I wanted a way in, like do anything, and my agency came up with this thing like, would you like to audition for it since you already have experience with reality TV and model competition and all that? So I just said, yeah, let me try this.
Right.
So that's how I entered, and I ended up winning that. But filming that was really stressful, because it was every day we shot 2 episodes. So sometimes we would shoot for like till 4 AM in the morning and still have 8 AM call times and all that. So that was quite crazy. But it was all worth it, I guess. And that's how I won that, and I was featured in the calendar.
Right.
It was beautifully shot.
Amazing photographs, I must say.
It was good. Like that's why it takes a team, like a good team, to make a good result. And so that's how I decided to stay back in India and work between Kathmandu and India.
Yes. And now that you've also said you've moved back to Nepal, you've moved back to Kathmandu, and now you've also started doing choreography. You're working as a choreographer also. So how does it feel now to, you know, instruct people where when a few years ago you yourself were a model? So receiving end or giving end, what's the differences?
Choreography is something I think without knowing something I've always wanted to do, because it takes a lot of, like, you get to orchestrate the whole thing.
Exactly.
When you're a model, you would just think in your head like, where you show my sari garte, or I would add this element, or I would do this. Till after a few years of you know, thinking like that, when I finally got the opportunity to actually be a choreographer, I really enjoyed it. I think it's obviously a lot of work. It's, I mean, your work as a model is easier, but as a choreographer, I think I'm enjoying it a lot. Also. Like being in control of the situation and being able to produce something that everybody enjoys. I think
and I'm sure it must be really challenging, because general people would assume that a fashion show is a fashion show. One model walks in, the other walks out, but then actually every fashion show can be displayed or can be shown so differently, right? So it is a challenge for the choreographer also, because if you are a full-time choreographer and choreograph a lot of shows, your first show has to be different than the second and the third and the fourth, right? So your challenge, how do you tackle this challenge?
It's exciting in that every show is very different from the other. The client wants different things, and obviously you get to play around with the stage, the setup, the light and sound and everything. So that's interesting, but limitations are open. Just the client, like, they might not want to try too many new things because they still want it to be conventional. So you have to make sure how much you can push the boundaries and conventional way. You have to be able to strike a balance racer. But still, I think whoever I've worked with so far has been kind enough to let me do what I want, you know. And also, working with the models, I mean, sometimes I see, not all the time, but sometimes the choreographer and all the backstage people, because a fashion show is a really, there's a lot of pressure backstage. So I see a lot of people being rude to
each other,
each other and to the models and all that. And I think that's kind of unnecessary. So I try not to do that unless they don't listen to me. So you have to be loud sometimes. So that's a little funny thing.
So, but you are, as a choreographer, you have been getting that opportunity to explore your and give that, they've given you that creative freedom that you really want, right?
Still, I haven't done so many shows, but whatever I've done so far, I've been able to experiment, and I'm quite excited about what's coming up, actually. You know, there's so many ways you could do a show, like it's presentation, basically, so there's so many ways you could do that. Oh, I'm exploring that.
That's amazing. So our guest for today, Aastha Pokharel, is a model. She's now exploring choreography as well. She's already done a few shows and, you know, exploring to do more. We'll have this conversation, we'll continue this conversation after the break. This is our last break here at the evening show at 6, so don't go anywhere and be right back after this last break. Welcome back after that last commercial break. You're watching the evening show at 6 here at Himalaya Television, and my guest for tonight is Miss Aastha Pokharel. So Aastha, we're just, you know, before the break, we're summing up how it is being a model and now how it is being a choreographer, Banera. I also wanted to ask you what difference, because you've been in this field for almost 9-10 years now, and when you started in 2011 versus now in 2019, what kind of positive changes do you see in this field?
Positive changes, obviously people have changed their outlook towards the whole industry, I think, I hope. Also, modeling is not just modeling, the other sectors have to be developed as well, you know. Advertisements, our models book garnu paryo. The designers have to, upcoming designers have to do their job well, everybody has to do their job well, and that's how the industry will grow as a whole. So I think I've seen that growth over the last 8-9 years, and I'm quite, although we're still a developing country, like by Kamal Sozda, in Nepal ma pani fashion scene huncha, modeling huncha, but yeah, huncha, why not? It might not be, like, you're obviously not in bigger cities like fashion capitals or anything, but you can start here.
Definitely, and like you've said, there has been a lot of positive growth and improvement as well. But there's this question that everybody asks, like you've just mentioned, there has been a change in the outlook of how people perceive this fashion industry or models as such. Banera, tara, you know, kati janle sodhne ekdam questions. Hey, model banera pani khana paksa ta? You know, can you survive being a model banera? So I would like to ask you, what do you think? It's ani aileko scene ma, if somebody wants to pursue this as a career, will they be able to do this?
Okay, honestly, you might not be able to sustain yourself by just being a model, especially in Nepal. It's difficult everywhere else also because it's competitive, and you know how it's glamorous, so you would book a job that looks great from the outside, but you might not be getting paid so much.
Right.
So that's why I said you have to be driven by passion rather than money. You know, money will follow if you're lucky enough or if you work hard enough. It's a combination of both things. But just try to make the most of it while you're doing it, and whatever you end up doing, just give your 100%. You know, once you've decided to become a model, like, take the projects you do seriously, give your best. But besides that, you have to think about your career, your future
as well.
You know? So don't just because it's fun, especially when you're young, it's a fun thing to do, and you meet lots of interesting people. You go to places you would never think you'd be invited to. So you might just don't get lost and all that. So first of all, complete your studies.
It's very important.
And also it has a short shelf life.
Right.
So
I think people should definitely come be a part of this industry, but also have future plans as to like how they can explore or be in the same field. But like, let's say from a model, you can be a choreographer and be a creative director, organize shows. You know, all of these different aspects are there, and along with the growth of this industry, I think the models would also have a chance to explore all these different areas as a career choice. Thank you so much, Aastha, for being a wonderful guest here at my show and for sharing all your insights and experiences of being a model.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
it was
you
really
so much.
fun. All right.
And to everybody who's watching us back home, thank you so much for joining us in this new episode of the evening show at 6. आजको कुराकानीले तपाईहरुलाई पनि नेपालको मोडलिङ क्षेत्र सम्बन्धी केही जानकारी दियो होला भन्ने आशा हामी राख्दछौं, and we would now like to jointly say bye bye, and I will see you guys next week. So till then, keep smiling, be happy and stay blessed.